Thank you all so much for coming. I think the first thing we should do is go around the circle for each of you to tell me your name and a little bit about why you're here.
Wow! My name's Crash, and I have to keep on I have to keep on jumping all day, every day, and ta-da! And make stupid noises for others' amusement.
Thank you, Crash. That's very brave of you to share. And you in the hat, what's your story? I'm sorry, You're from Bloodborne. You're a silent protagonist. How interesting. Thank you for coming. And yourself?
Hi, everybody. My name is Hideous. I'm from Final Fantasy X. And my player, he kept a save file. Just before the cutscene with all the laughter. And he would just reload it again and again and again and again.
I'm so sorry.
Won't somebody think of the protagonists, moaned at all day by players who'd rather blame a collection of polygons than confront their own lack of skill, and then regularly chucked into life-threatening situations, or sometimes just outright ignored? Being the main character of a video game is, when you think about it, a really tough gig. Imagine what they'd say to each other about us, if they could, the stories they'd share, the nightmares they must regularly endure. Because let's face it, they must be absolutely sick and tired of being controlled by us gamers. Here then are 7 things we do that video game protagonists must absolutely hate.
You know when people throw a pebble into a well to see how far down it goes? Now imagine that's a person's job. Not throwing the pebble, being the pebble. Oh no! That's terrible! A real-life person that gets chucked into the gaping maw of bottomless pits on the regular. Well, that's what it's like being a video game protagonist. And it doesn't just stop with being a fleshy depth gauge for random holes in the ground either. Questions like, I wonder if my character can swim in full plate armour, and is there fall damage if I jump from this cliff? And does fire burn? Are routinely asked, then answered by way of turning your protagonist into a crash test dummy. I mean, we need to know, right? How else am I going to tell if fire is hot unless I stick my hand in it? Only in games, it's never really our hands, it's our protagonists. Drowning by way of not being able to swim, shattering all their bones as they fall from a 200-foot drop, turning them into walking shish kebabs as you roast them alive to seal in their juices. Some of the many ways we test out what's been added to a game via our poor player character.
We have all got that friend that's late to everything, and we all hate them.
So imagine the vitriol your playable character has for you when you're out there in the real world, forgetting you've left the PlayStation on whilst they're waiting for the sweet release of rest mode.
Jump, jump, fight. Yeah, games. I love gaming.
Ha! Yeah!
Oh, my phone. Ooh. Hello? Oh, hi, Mom. How are you? Is Toasty there? Put her on the phone. Go on. Go on, you know I like to talk to her. Oh, hello, To. Meow. Meow. Meow, meow. Meow.
Better start doing some idle animations.
Imagine being trapped in the same spot with no release, unable to move or even rifle through your inventory to occupy your mind, like when you read shampoo bottles on the toilet, right? Simply frozen in place without even the blessing of a pause button to freeze your consciousness for a few sacred minutes. You've only got to take a look at classic Sonic throwing himself off screen to get a feel for how maddening this must be.
I'm out of here. Here's your third delivery today, Rob.
Thank you very much, Rosie. I think there's another one down there as well, there.
Another one. I've just been up and down those stairs 3 blooming times.
Exercise is good for you, Rosie. Run along.
It absolutely sucks when you're forced to keep on running constantly. When you were a kid, do you remember those PE classes where as a warm-up, your teacher made you run around a really big field at least 3 times? I remember those times. And they sucked! Well, those days are every day for our poor protagonists, who are forced to keep on running because we want to get to our destination quicker. Oh, Kiryu, are you out of breath? Well, I'm sorry, but I want that dog toy from the UFO catcher, and imagine if someone caught it before we did. We'd both be distraught. So run, Kiryu, run! Or think of those protagonists who get the choice to traverse through their world quickly without running, but we make them run anyway. Oh, thank you for the horse option, Dragon Quest XI. This summoning bell looks lovely next to this little cottage. What's that, hero? The horse? What about the horse? Oh, you want to ride the horse! Well, you see, you could get on that horse, or you could be running at pretty much the same speed as the horse, but on your own 2 legs. So, off you go. They may hate us now, but wait until they realise how healthy they've become. Their doctors are going to be so happy with their BMIs.
Wouldn't it be nice to have one of those magical video game inventory bags that just stores everything? No matter how many random bits you pick up, you can shove them all in your Mary Poppins pack and run around without any issues. Better still, one of those invisible video game bags that keeps everything safe but doesn't ruin your outfit. Perhaps not. It's not always a given that you'll have access to the bottomless bag. Sometimes, like when you're trying to get all your shopping out of the car and into the house in one go, you're cursed with the reality of encumbrance, where so much weight is piled on top of your puny frame that it makes you walk in a funny way and not nearly as fast as you'd like. If you think that's annoying, imagine being a video game protagonist in full heavy armour, but also carrying a library's worth of books you'll never read, pointless bits of scrap metal, and enough bowls, cabbages and cutlery to feed a war battalion for no other reason than they might be useful later. Look, everyone knows they absolutely will not be useful, and all they're doing is squashing your poor protagonist's vertebrae into little bone sandwiches as they waddle across the countryside. At least carry some fortifying potions for your poor red-faced protagonist, for crying out loud.
Look, right, there are some things that are just too cruel to do to another person, even a fictional one in a video game.
I'm not talking about the constant fall and fire damage, or the weighing down with items like a 17th century witch, or pumping their little legs to take you across a map that would make for weeks of travel in real time. No, much worse. Much, much worse.
I'm talking about dressing practically.
Just think about poor Geralt and all those mad outfits you've put him in before finding proper Witcher school armour. The man deserves better. There he is trying to slay monsters and save the world, and you've got him dressed up in a horrible stripy number that does not befit his serious demeanour, even if it does have some silly stat increase that seems useful at the time.
Please, why? I'm sure Geralt doesn't care about the 0.2% increase to his left elbow when he's suffering from a minus 80% modifier to his shame.
Dressing well is worth the extra damage you'll take. You know what they say? Beauty is pain.
Oh, I can't believe I've managed to convince everyone that the rocket-firing Boba Fett action figure is an essential company purchase. Now to authorise the payment. What? Insufficient funds? Who could have done this?
Another round of caviar, my dear.
Oh, go on, why not? It's on the company after all.
It's not nice when someone spends your money, especially on nonsense they don't need when they could be buying perfect rare figurines to sit safely in the attic. But I digress. This is what it's like for video game characters every day of their lives. Except we're the ones in charge of their finances. They're out there slaying monsters and beating up baddies so they can feed their families, and we're spending all their hard-earned coin on... what, exactly? Needlessly expensive swords, in-game houses we'll never sleep in, and 99 elixirs we're saving for the final boss but still won't use even when we get to them. This is why my RPG protagonist's bank balance is always 0. Oh, what have they bought now? A life-size statue of Sly Cooper? Oh, this has to stop.
Status effects. An element to video games we're all too familiar with. They can happen by walking through goodness knows what, being attacked by goodness knows what, being seen by goodness knows what, breathing in goodness knows what. And when left untreated, they can have serious consequences, like death for instance. And how do we deal with these threats? We ignore them until they're either at the next inn, save point, or on the brink of death. Your poor protagonist is left to suffer just because you think, look, we're going to be walking through this poisonous river for a long time, and I'm not wasting an item or my MP only for you to immediately get poisoned again. So just wait it out. It's wearing away, see? To us this may seem perfectly logical, but imagine what it's like for our poor protagonists. Oh God, I'm in so much pain. Every step I take is a fresh hell. Please, just give me that sweet release of death. Sometimes we let our protagonists limp about with half their health as well, and still expect them to perform at full capacity, pushing them onwards as they limp further into the dangerous unknown. Because hey, I have no idea when I'll be able to find any more medicine, even though I have healing items in my inventory box, so I'll only give it to you when I know you're basically dead. Oh! Is it too late to use one of those now?
So there we go, 7 things we do that video game protagonists must hate. Are you guilty of any of these? Can you think of any more examples we've missed? Do let us know in the comments, give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already done so, to make sure you're always up to date with everything from the world of PlayStation. Thanks for watching.
PlayStation